What's going on, everybody? This is Ryan from RLS ASMR, and so today I have some pho that I'm gonna eat. And these are the fixins. I've been wanting to do pho. Okay, this doesn't have any identifying information on it. This is what I ordered. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, it is a large pho special, which is basically just you have like a bunch of meat in there and tendon and all that good stuff. But if you know anything about pho, basically it's beef noodle soup, and it is delicious. So as I'm getting this set up, I'm just gonna give you guys the rundown. Basically, I'm going to be doing some. I'm gonna do a review of the new movie out, the Marvel movie Thunderbolts. I've been talking about a lot of movies, or not a lot of movies, a lot of horror movies recently. I haven't really been watching a lot of like action films and stuff. Although I did recently talk about how I don't know when I'm not gonna get that video up. I watched Fight Club recently, and Fight Club is actually pretty fun film. So they do give you raw meat, and that might like be jarring for some of you. It's like, because I just pulled out some raw meat. Get your mind out of the gutter. But the fixings in. They do that because they give you broth that is meant to be hot enough to cook the raw meat. So that's why they do that. I don't like the mint leaves. I'm not a big fan of mint. They give you, I think it's like mint and basil. This is mint or that might be basil actually. That makes sense. Now, how I'm gonna get a thumbnail of this, I am not entirely certain. I could try just getting a thumbnail of this stuff. That doesn't look good with the raw meat, though. Yeah, this is piping boiling hot. That's how it's supposed to be. Boiling hot liquid. Now, perhaps I gotta put all that stuff on top after I put the boiling hot liquid in, but let me go ahead and try and pour this in. This has potential of going horribly wrong. It won't, because I am a seasoned veteran. Hold on. I am a seasoned veteran at this, but okay, so this meat I gotta take and kind of move it out a bit, because, and in all honesty, I guess they really shouldn't do this. And if I get sick from this place, then, there's video recording and evidence of it. I'm just kidding. I've been to this place a billion times. Not actually a billion times, but I've been to this place, like, really, really heavily a lot, and it's a good place to be. I enjoy it. Alright. So, put this in because the idea is that you pour the broth over, and it sort of cooks the meat instantly. It is not. See, getting this takeout is much different than getting this like in the restaurant. And you're like, duh, Ryan. But no, I mean, like, seriously though. Okay. Yeah, so Thunderbolts is like the new addition in it's the latest edition of the like Marvel movies, basically. there with my dad and my brother, and we really, like, there were a couple points, like, because Valentina is, like, the main, villain in it, and we really, oh yeah, and by the way, I mean, obviously, if you've been in my movie, if you are new to my channel, I'm going to, like, spoil my, movie reviews. That's just what I do. I talk about everything because it gives me more to talk about if I can talk to you about everything. If you would like to go and see the film, I would recommend it, and then, you know, let me know what you think. Or if you're one of those rare specimens of people that just don't really care about spoilers, and you can kind of just listen to whatever and it doesn't matter and you can still enjoy stuff, then go for it. But, you know, suit yourself. Man, I forgot how much work this is. My arm's kind of getting sore. And then put a little bit more in there. Some of you have seen my steak reviews. Or not steak reviews. If seen me make my own steak. Contrary to popular belief, I do not enjoy raw meat. This doesn't really do me any favors. But honestly, I should have just put this in and then let it submerge in there for like a couple minutes. It's supposed to cook kind of on contact, but it is what it is. I'll eat it anyway. It doesn't matter. So, the Thunderbolts kind of takes place after the events of, like, Black Widow, and probably after the events. I'm not sure on the timeline. I feel like I should watch a video on it. Yeah, so takes place after the events of Black Widow, where, if you haven't seen that movie, spoiler alert, Black Widow dies, and her sister, because I remember her in the movie, she was really upset about it, broken up over it, even though they kind of hated each other throughout the film. You know, she basically, like, really misses her sister. And she feels alone. You know, it's just that she kind of just, like, doesn't really like where her life is. You know, she goes to work. Her name is Yelena. The Carolina, but she basically wants to, like, move on because she goes to her dad. Who, if you watch Stranger Things, I don't know the actor's name. The same actor that plays Hopper, the bully in Stranger Things. You know, the police, the sheriff that takes Ellen, that looks after Elle. That actor is the one who plays the dad of the main character in Thunderbolts. Oh, I didn't even do a thumbnail. I'll tell you what, I don't know how to do a really good, adequate thumbnail. I will take a picture of it though.
feels empty. She's a mercenary, so she beats guys up. Same thing as Black Widow, basically. And so she just doesn't feel, she doesn't feel fulfilled. So she goes to her dad. And he's watching, like, old videos of himself. Because he was the Red Guardian back in Russia. He was basically Russian Captain America. And he's basically like playing the role of the guy who's at this midlife crisis. He was really good back in the day, but he's kind of washed up now. Yearning for purpose, Like, we gotta be in a team, He's that guy. She has this heart-to-heart with him in the beginning of the film, like, are you happy? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm happy, but he was lying. And he's like, no, I'm not happy, look at me. Because what made him happy, oh, and by the way, I have egg rolls. Possible, hold on. This might be an even better thumbnail, hold on. Oh, I really can't do this with my left hand. Ooh, I really can't do this with my left hand, holy shit. I don't know. Possible extras, possible, thumbnail. I like their duck sauce, but I don't want to pour it straight on. I think I'll just eat them plain for now. Alright, so even he's yearning for purpose and everything. And he was telling her, like, yeah, so what made me feel purposeful was, helping, my country, like, helping people, saving people. And so the person she's been doing these, like, jobs for, essentially, her name's Valentina. And so she's like, hey, after this, I want something more front-facing, because she's only going to want to do one more job. She wanted to quit. But she tells. Man, I forgot how much this, like, clears out my sinuses. Anyways, so, basically, she said, I want something more front-facing. It's basically going to become, like, like a superhero. And she's like, sure, okay. You can do that. But there's someone who wants to steal from me at this high-tech facility that I have. And I want you to go there and handle it. And if not, I want you to go there, see who it is, and terminate them if need be. So she goes, okay. She sees someone enter there. She goes out to the facility, obviously. Sees someone enter the facility. She was told that she was going to be given full biometrics so she can just walk right in to the facility and start doing her job or whatever. The person she's after is after her. There's another person not after her. The person she's after is after someone else. There's someone after her. And then there's another person that joins and they start fighting. And you're like, what the heck even supposed to... You're like, what the fuck's going on? But you very quickly realize that those are all of the loose ends that Valentina wants to shore up and get rid of because she's in the middle of like an impeachment trial. Which I'm thinking Valentina's the president. I haven't seen her. Oh yeah, so she goes. So she basically, you figure out that she's trying to get a you realize she's trying to get rid of all of them because she's going through some kind of like impeachment trial, which I'm sure that means she's the president. I remember that. I'm missing context here because I haven't seen Captain America. Brave New World, I think it's called. Like, I haven't seen the new one. I didn't think they were connected. I thought it was gonna be like an origin story from something else. Well, not from something else, but you know what I mean. But it looks like they're gearing stuff up to be really good. Which I've needed, man, because these superhero films have not been good recently. And not even good recently, they haven't been good for a while. I thought we were just, after Endgame, I was like, oh man, we're just on a downward spiral, but I think they're finally picking it back up a bit. But so I didn't really get Valentina that much as far as like, I get she's a bad guy, because why isn't she? And when they're in the bunker, they're in the vault, they realize that they're gonna be like incinerated. As soon as they realize that they're supposed to kill each other, there's a timer that is meant to like incinerate them. The room starts getting warm and everything. Well, everyone that's there, if you remember Ghost from the Ant-Man film, she's there. She's the girl who like disappears and can walk through shit. Like phase through objects. Because she was basically like, she was the villain in the Ant-Man film. Or one of the Ant-Man films. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think. But then there was someone else. And to my surprise, they actually, Marvel actually showed someone getting shot. Like shot in the head and dead. And like showed the bullet wound. It's not very typical for Marvel. They do their kills off screen or very implied deaths unless it's aliens. They don't do anything visceral. And so they see this other person, and I love this person. He's the best film. He's the best in the entire film. His name's Bob. We love Bob. Bob basically is like a he's just there in some kind of like, you know, not scrubs, but like hospital scrubs gown type thing. He's like, yes, I signed up for this medical thing, and I basically like showed up, and I woke up here, and they're like, okay. But as the room's starting to incinerate, the heat's rising, I should say, they get the girl who can phase through things to go and open the door. And at first it looks like she's not really going to be able to open the door. They're not going to be able to, that she would leave them. But she opens the door. And they're like, hey, you came back. Because she's seen as really selfish. Like, I look out for my own type of thing, because in her movie, her only father figure died. If I remember correctly. I think he did. Lawrence Fishburne's character. I could be wrong, though. So, they just think she's gonna be selfish. And she, like, just actually, comes back and saves them, so that's cool. They keep trying to work their way out of basically what the big vault thing. They get to this like point in the movie. They try to get up the elevator because the elevator doesn't work. So if they climb up the elevator shaft, and they're like, does anyone know how to fly? Because we all just punch, and they're like, do we all just use guns and punch people? Kind of saying like, are we all like people who don't have powers? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. But then Bob comes up with the brilliant idea, because I love Bob. Bob comes up with the brilliant idea of climbing up the wall with all of their backs facing each other. It reminded me of a scene, and me and my brother thought the same thing. It reminded us of a scene in Emperor's New Groove where they have to climb up the cliff to get back onto the ladder. Or not ladder, to get to the bridge. The bridge they have to climb. But it's kind of like that scene. They're joking and they keep climbing, but then they see a door, and I forgot to mention, but the Captain America, the evil Captain America from the Captain America and Winter Soldier show, the one that's like a homicidal lunatic. He's there too, along with Bob, Ghost, and the main character. He sees the door. He goes to the door, and they're like, wait, because they're all pressed up against each other, right, to keep balance. If he breaks the balance, they'll fall to their death. But he goes to open the door anyway. And then everyone starts falling. And then everyone survives and makes it out. They had to save Bob with the grappling hook because Bob just fell. And he's like, I made a strategic decision for all of us in order for us to live. But it was obviously a selfish decision, right? Like, he didn't need to do that. That wasn't necessary. It's not something that he, like, crafted and thought of. He was just trying to save his own ass. And that's kind of like the theme of the movie, I guess. It's like they're all people who just basically just want to save their own ass. I should have poured this in sooner, but oh well. And in like perfect Marvel fashion, they are going to start working together by the end of the film. So they go through that. And then I'm going to skip a few parts because they're irrelevant, but basically you find out that Bob has powers. And he was there for some kind of like medical study. They escape out of there, but they escape without Bob because Bob's decided to sacrifice himself to like let them go free because they're trying to sneak out of there. But Bob didn't realize he had powers. So he survived. Shot up into the air. Exploded. And then came back down. And the rest of the film, I'm trying to readjust myself. Oh, my foot. Alright. So the rest of the film, Bob is basically like, he's being coaxed by that evil lady. This was all her plan, right? So she's trying to coax him into being her, like, you know, minion. Listen to me, be my weapon, make me, you know, like, I don't want to ever be impeached type of thing. Because I'll be the hero. They end up deciding, because what ends up happening is, oh, also, I forgot a key detail. Bucky's apparently in the government now. And the Red Guardian, the dad to the main character, catches wind of it, of what's going on, because he has a limo business, and he limos the main antagonist. I forget her name already, and I just watched the film. I'm terrible, but the main antagonist, he limos for her, or drives her to a place. So he suits up and chases after her. Meets up with them. They start trying to save Bob. Well, they get chased by Valentina's men, which is the antagonist's name. Valentina's men. And then Bucky chases them down because basically Bucky, because he's like a congressman, his colleague is trying to impeach Valentina. He basically he's like, oh, the assistant's on the fence, I'm gonna try and get in with her. And she ended up calling him. She's just a young kid, but she doesn't agree with what Valentina's doing. And tries to get Bucky down there to stop it all. So he encounters the ragtag group, so you will. And then they deem themselves like the Thunderbolts, basically, as an unofficial title, but they get themselves called the New Avengers. They go after Bob, because Bob was picked up at the vault and then basically he figured out he had powers and he could do whatever he wanted. Bro's overpowered as fuck. He can send you into, like, if you touch him, he can make you think of like the most like traumatic thing you've ever been through. But then he's also basically just a Homelander. You attack him and then he has like a force field. He's like Gojo meets Homelander because he has an invisible force field around him at all times that blocks every attack. And I know that's not what Gojo's power is, but just bear with me. Anime nerds that are getting mad right now. And it's really, I don't know, I found it a really awesome movie. Basically, Valentina tries to kill him because he doesn't want to listen to her, and then after that he realizes he goes into this really negative spiral. Earlier in the film, they were talking about basically like depression and being sad and like, oh, sometimes it feels like you're going to the void, which is what I call when I go there. When I get really sad and depressed, like I was last month, and I've been for the last 3 years, I call it going into the void because that's what it feels like. That darkness, that sadness that you want to sit in because you don't see a point moving forward. Like I've been there, still trying to get out of it, almost like I'm not fully in it, but you know what I mean. And yeah, so I found it a very interesting film. It's the only Marvel film that I've actually Marvel movie that I've saw talk about those issues and actually make it impact someone's powers in a really interesting way. Because what happens next is that he turns completely jet black, and all you see is his eyes, and then he starts disappearing people almost. You think he's killing people, but what he's doing is he's sending them into this alternate world where or into their own mind, into an alternate world where they're just reliving their worst memory. The main character built a relationship with Bob, so that's why she runs in there to try and help him. Because they can't fight him. He whoops their ass the first time they actually tried fighting him. He's way too fucking strong. So then she realizes that. So then they try to go into that part where he's in, where to help him. That really deep place. So they literally, all of them, I found it really cool and metaphorical, but it was literal at the same time. Your friends can help you, pull you out of a really dark place and help you with your issues. And, you can't do certain things alone. And I felt that, really powerful message. And they did it in a Marvel movie. They don't do that in Marvel movies. Like Ultron wasn't about, the hubris of man. It kind of was. It basically was, right? And then that was put into Ultron, and even he still failed. So it was kind of Marvel has this thing of putting really good messages in their films sometimes. But in this particular Marvel movie, it was really in your face. Just the whole movie's about depression, being sad. Your friends can help pull you out of it, and they put it into a superhero movie. And I actually really fuck with the way that they did it because they didn't make it cheesy. They made it really real, and I like the actress. I'll look for this main actress. I liked her a lot, and she's also very pretty. But I'm gonna look for her in other films because I feel like she's a good actress, and I want to check her out. I don't know if because they do this Russian accent, and so does Hopper. I know she's probably not Russian, but I'm just curious how she sounds in other films because I can only imagine her right now in a Russian accent. But she's probably a Southern belle or something, I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this what I thought of it. It's a 4 out of 5. It's a really good film. That's pretty much the end of it. They're gonna try and tie it into the Fantastic Four somehow, based on the credits. Based on the end credits scene that I saw, so I'm hoping. I wonder when that's gonna happen. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I implore you guys to watch it if I haven't spoiled all of it in the way that would prevent you from watching it. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this movie review and this video. I am full, and honestly, I've just been kind of taking it easy and relaxing. I might take a nap, to be honest. I feel so full. But you guys have a good one, and I hope you guys have a really nice sleep. Catch you in the next video.